Hey guys, welcome back to Sharpen Life. My name is Brittany, and today I wanted to do a video on how I use up some cherry tomatoes because there is a lot out there. I'm doing eggs in Purgatory for breakfast, and it's a good way to use up your cherry tomatoes. It's honestly a really simple recipe. Literally, it's just cherry tomatoes, garlic. I'm adding some green pepper flakes that I made. And then you can pretty much just add whatever you want. I'm going to do like some eggs with it and then some sourdough that I made. It's the jalapeno cheddar sourdough. And they just go really good together. It soaks up the cherry tomatoes really nice. First thing, heat up your pan. And then I'm going to put some olive oil in it. I mainly only use olive oil and like avocado oil in my house, but you can use whatever oil you want. You just want this pan to be nice and hot before you put your oil in. And then you want your oil to heat up. I just put a nice little, maybe a tablespoon of oil on the bottom. So what I'm doing now is I'm just frying up the oil, or frying up the garlic in the oil. And I just want the oil to get the like perfuminess of the garlic and just a little bit of flavor. Literally all I'm doing is frying this garlic in this oil, and you can see it starting to get these little, I don't know if you can see it, but it's starting to get these brown little bits on it. And that's good, that's what you want, but you don't want to burn it. So you just kind of have to watch it once it gets to this stage. And then you're going to want to throw out your garlic because you don't want to burn it. Once it burns, it just tastes like bitter and gross. And then your whole dish just isn't going to taste good. So as you can see, the garlic is nice and toasted. It's a little crisp, so I'm just going to throw it away. And then I'm going to add in the cherry tomatoes. And you want to cover it. You can hear it doing its thing, but I need to add some salt and some of these green pepper flakes. For the green pepper flakes, I kind of just eyeball. Get nice and sizzly. So I'm just going to add some salt and some green pepper flakes. You can add however many you want, or however much you want, based off of your spice level. But I just put probably half a teaspoon of the green pepper flakes and a teaspoon of salt, or a quarter of a teaspoon of salt. I'm just gonna let this go. I turned the heat down a little bit because it was a little too high. I'm just gonna let this go. What's gonna happen is the cherry tomatoes are gonna burst, and then all that juice is going to like make a sauce, and that's why you wanna cover it. I mean, I don't really have a good lid, but you wanna cover it so that all that liquid doesn't evaporate out, so you have a nice good sauce. This has been simmering for about 5 minutes. You can see there's a lot of nice little juices in there. And I'm just gonna break up the tomatoes a little bit more. There. So I'm gonna cover it back up. Tastes good. I'm gonna let this simmer for a few more minutes. I'm sure if your tomatoes are still a little dry, you can just add a little water. So I have this on a very low temp, and I'm going to make little like spots for the eggs because I always have a problem with sticking. I'm going to add a little bit of oil into each spot, and then you're gonna crack your eggs in each one. And then don't forget to salt and pepper your eggs. You always want to season. Just gonna throw just a little bit. And some fresh cracked pepper. And then you're gonna cover it up. I have no idea how long to cook these, so I'm just gonna do 5 minutes and then I'll check it. If you don't have cherry tomatoes, you can use pretty much any other tomato that you want. Just make sure you cut it into like 1-inch pieces and then saute and cook it. I have never done it because I always have an excessive amount of cherry tomatoes, but I'm sure it will be fine. You can also add like onions to it when you're sauteing the garlic. I know people sometimes add kale when you throw in the tomatoes or Swiss chard or something. It just depends on how you like your kale or Swiss chard cooked. But like I said, I've never done it. Always just had cherry tomatoes. So, and sourdough. All right, so it's been 4.5 minutes with the eggs in there and they look really good. So I'm just gonna shut the heat off and that's pretty much it. This is eggs in Purgatory. Thank you guys for hanging out with me while I make breakfast. Now it's time to eat and then get on with our day. Have a good one.